Welcome to our discussion on the real meaning of the Sabbath. Yeah, it's like, a deep dive into tradition versus modern practice. We're exploring why the true Sabbath, according to Scripture, actually starts Friday night at sundown.
I'm really excited about this. So, we're talking about how most people think the Sabbath means church on Sunday, but actually, biblically speaking, it all starts on Friday evening, right?
Exactly. The foundational commandment goes, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God." But here's the thing. If you look at Genesis, it repeats, "And there was evening, and there was morning," which clearly shows that a day begins at sundown, not at midnight.
I get that. It's interesting because, most folks today assume a day starts at sunrise or midnight, but biblical texts flip that idea entirely.
Right. And that's why, historically, the original Sabbath was observed from Friday at sundown until Saturday at sundown. It's like, nature itself set the clock with the cycle of day and night.
Exactly. It's almost poetic. Sundown before sunup. That's really woven into Jewish tradition even today. Candles are lit, prayers offered, challah is served, all starting Friday night.
Yes, and that's the ritual rhythm that Jesus himself would have observed. Remember, Luke 4:16 even tells us that he went to the synagogue on the Sabbath. Historians suggest this could well have been a Friday night observance rather than a Sunday morning service.
That totally challenges what a lot of modern Christians think about their Sabbath. It makes you wonder how traditions shift so much over time, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And here's where it gets really interesting. The switch to Sunday worship isn't explicitly detailed in Scripture. Instead, it emerged when Emperor Constantine declared Sunday as the official day of rest around 321 CE. That decision really intertwined the resurrection celebration with political and cultural considerations.
I have to respectfully challenge that a bit. While Constantine's law certainly played a role, many argue that Sunday was chosen primarily to honor the resurrection of Jesus. It's not just political, right?
That's a good point. There is definitely a theological element with the resurrection. But, the twist is that there's no direct biblical command to shift the Sabbath to Sunday. Instead, it was a blend of resurrection commemoration and, frankly, empire management. Many early church figures like Ignatius of Antioch and Justin Martyr started promoting it as the Lord's Day.
Right, so it's a mix of honoring the resurrection and appealing to Roman traditions. And then you have groups like the Seventh-day Adventists who push back on this switch, insisting that the Sabbath still falls on Friday night to Saturday night.
Exactly. They argue that the 10 Commandments are immutable. The Sabbath has always been from, sunset to sunset, and Sunday worship isn't found in Scripture at all. Some even go as far as to say that marking Sunday as holy is a human tweak, a sort of deviation from what's divinely intended.
And that's really fascinating because it shows how tradition can split, almost like different software versions of the same command running side by side.
Yeah, it's like, comparing an old operating system with the latest update, one that sticks to the original code versus another that has been modded over time. Plus, when you consider that even Muslims have their own sacred rhythm with Friday prayers, which again are rooted in natural cycles, it shows a broader pattern across different faiths.
Absolutely. Even though the specifics differ, the Jewish Sabbath is all about a strict Friday sunset to sunset practice. While the Muslims have, a special Friday prayer, the underlying idea of putting aside time for spiritual focus remains the same.
Right. And it's almost like the whole issue is a commentary on how modern schedules mess with ancient rhythms. I mean, look at us. Most people work on Friday, party on Saturday, and then hit church on Sunday like it's a late breakfast rather than actually setting aside a proper day of rest.
Yeah, it's ironic. Imagine someone trying to cancel their Friday night plans to truly observe the Sabbath. It'd be like, telling your friends, Sorry, no Friday fun because I'm setting my internal clock to candlelit mode.
Exactly. It's a profound step. Cancel the usual Friday night ramp up, power down your phone, light some candles, and just, really reconnect with that ancient call for rest. It's almost revolutionary in today's always-on world.
And yet, that's what makes it so appealing. In a way, it's like having a scheduled mental reboot. But doesn't that clash a bit with how our society is structured? I mean, families have commitments, deadlines, even soccer games.
Yeah, that's definitely a challenge in our modern, hyper-connected life. It's almost like you need to rewrite your entire weekend routine, which, isn't exactly convenient. But the original commandment is crystal clear. The Sabbath starts with the sunset on Friday.
Right. And although it sounds ideal in theory, implementing it today could be, quite disruptive. But then again, perhaps it's a necessary disruption, a chance to rebalance our lives.
Yeah, like a forced pause button that, reminds us that continuous activity isn't sustainable. It's like upgrading your internal energy system rather than letting it run on low battery all week.
I love that analogy. It's like even our phones need to recharge, so why shouldn't we? But still, it might be hard for people to break out of the Sunday habit without, some serious cultural support.
Absolutely. It's a cultural shift as much as a religious one. The idea that the Sabbath, when truly observed by Scripture, begins Friday night is something that might, require us to rethink our entire weekend mindset, from work schedules to social plans.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that this kind of reconsideration might actually lead to a broader shift in how we view rest and our daily lives?
Possibly, yeah. It's like if you totally commit to that ancient rhythm, it could fundamentally change how you approach your week. Instead of being reactive, you set aside intentional time for rest and, reflection. And who knows, maybe it'll catch on beyond just religious circles.
True, because even if you're not religious, having a dedicated time to unplug and recharge seems like something we could all use. In our hustle culture, that would be a real game changer.
Exactly. It's almost like, a digital detox at a fundamental level, a complete break from the modern chaos. The idea is simple. If the Bible instructs us to set aside a day of rest defined by natural cycles, why not honor that, especially when everything else feels so off balance?
I agree. And maybe this approach can, help us find a healthier balance between work and rest, even if it means, say, rearranging our priorities on Fridays and Saturdays.
That's the crux of it. Whether you follow the traditional Friday night to Saturday rest or uphold a Sunday tradition, at the heart of it is the value of intentional pause, a kind of, spiritual and mental reset that's been around since the earliest days of human civilization.
Right. It's like a vital reminder in a time when we're glued to our screens and schedules. But it also makes you think, are we too attached to our modern calendar? Too willing to let historical wisdom just fade away?
Definitely. And honestly, it's like, an invitation to reclaim something ancient and profound. When you cancel your Friday plans, light a candle, and truly enter into a state of rest, you're in a way honoring a tradition that's thousands of years old, a tradition that has kept balance in the cosmos from the very beginning.
You really put that well. Though I think some might argue that, given our hectic lives, adapting such a practice could be seen as impractical. What do you say to that?
That's a fair critique. But then, consider it like this. Even if it's challenging to shift your routine, a little change can be transformative. It's like, allowing your computer to update. Yes, it takes a moment of downtime. But afterwards, everything works smoother.
I get that, and it does sound appealing in a way. Changing a habit that's deeply ingrained in our culture isn't easy, but maybe a candlelit Friday could pave the way for a less stressful life.
Exactly right. And let's not forget, regardless of whether you choose to honor the Sabbath on Friday through Saturday or stick with Sunday traditions, the core idea remains: to have a dedicated time to unplug, reflect, and, rejuvenate your spirit.
Totally. It's all about reclaiming that intentional space and maybe even questioning long-held assumptions about our weekends. I mean, who knew something as simple as when the day starts could trigger such a deep discussion?
Totally. It's almost like unveiling a hidden update in our personal calendars, an update that reconnects us with a rhythm as old as time. Whether you're a religious adherent or just someone in need of a break, that message is universal.
Right. And if a few candles and a change of perspective can give us all a better recharge, maybe it's worth trying, at least once. I might try this Friday night myself.
That's a great idea. Turn off the digital distractions and let the natural cycle reset you. In the end, it's really about balance, tradition, and finding that, sustainable way to live in a 24/7 world.
Exactly. And whether you're following the biblical rhythm or adapting to modern life, the reminder stands. Intentional rest is essential. Thanks for such an insightful, engaging chat on the true beginning of the Sabbath.
My pleasure. It's always fascinating to dig into these timeless practices. It's like, a journey from ancient stone tablets all the way to our digital screens. Keep questioning the norms and, hey, maybe light a candle this weekend.
Absolutely. Here's to finding that slice of true rest amid the chaos. Thanks for joining in, everyone, and keep embracing traditions, old and new. Catch you next time.